Hello guys, today we have a special upload. We have an interview to Matt Price, a young fighter who flew all the way from the United States to Dagestan, Russia to pursue his dreams of becoming a professional MMA fighter. During this interview, we talked about many things, including his relation with Tyson Fury, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and we talk about subjects like how much he earns per fight at this point of his career and many other aspects. So stick around if you want to know him better and follow his social media to follow up his career. So you are in Spain already, or not really?
Yep. Yeah, I'm in Spain.
Okay, and so that's where your first fight will happen, right?
Yep, that's correct. On
Uh,
Saturday.
And is your opponent Spanish? Why this fight is happening in Spain?
Because it was hard to find one. I reached out to a lot of promoters like in Spain, Belgium, um, uh, England, like everywhere, like in Europe,
Okay.
France.
Well, that surely was a challenge, and I have many questions on that. But before we go into that, uh, can you do a brief description of who you are for the people that doesn't know you? A brief description, like uh, you know, a brief description, basically, like.
Yeah, so I did judo for a while, like 7-ish years. Then I trained. Then I did like before I started MMA. And I've been training for like 2 years now. Um, and I've been in Dagestan for the past couple of months. Just
Okay. So just to
can you hear
recap,
me?
you have
Wait,
yes, of
what?
course. Just to
I'm
recap,
in,
you have done 7 years of judo, and you have done 2 years of MMA, and now you are in
right,
Dagestan in for a couple of months, right?
right. Yeah, I've been there for a few months. I'm in Spain
Okay,
now, though, but yeah, I've been training there for a couple of months.
okay. That's very interesting. Let me just tell you this: the fact that we have moved for Dagestan has raised my curiosity a lot because I think that's a bold move, but I'm just an outsider. Can I ask you
Okay.
why you went to Dagestan?
Because they're wrestling and grappling supposed to be the best, so I figured it was like the best place to go, like to
Mhm.
focus on that.
Okay. That's very interesting. I don't know many black black wrestlers from Dagestan, and it would be great to see you as one of the most successful uh, uh, uh,
Yeah.
guys coming from there. It would
Neither have
be.
they. And every time I go out, people are taking pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah, they probably don't see a lot of black people in Dagestan, right?
And I don't see any. There's not. I'm the only one.
You're probably the only one,
There's
yeah.
like five million people there or something, and I'm the only one.
hmm So, as far as I understand, your background is mostly grappling with judo. And what about your striking? How good your striking? How the striking fits in your style, on your fighting style?
I'd say it's mostly boxing.
hmm
Cause I did train boxing for a while. I used to do
Okay.
like when I was doing judo for maybe like 3 years. I would train boxing too. I would go straight from boxing to judo. Um, and then I trained at this. My gym was kind of popular. It was called Kronk's. It's not around anymore because
Okay.
they
Was
closed
called
because of
cranks.
flooding. Kronk's,
Cranks. Okay.
but
And
they had a
where
lot
was
like
it?
this was in Detroit. But
Detroit.
they had
Okay.
a lot of popular guys from there, like Tyson Fury trained there for a couple years actually.
Wow.
His coach, like I know him, like I used to see him like every day for years, so it was kind of surprising when he first fought Wilder, because it was like, oh wow, he's on TV, like
Wow.
because
So,
someone mentioned
mhm.
someone mentioned he was going out to Vegas to train Fury, and I was like, that's weird. And then I started seeing him on ESPN, and I was like, oh, that's Sugar Hill, like on TV.
So you train in the same place than Tyson Fury, but you saw Tyson Fury training,
No,
or
no, no, I never saw him there. I never saw him there.
okay,
He left before I started. Um,
okay,
but
okay,
the hit when he had a fight, one of the trainers would go out to train him, like for his training camp. I think it's like once you become famous enough, you don't want to train at your same gym anymore. So he wouldn't actually
mhm,
come back there and train. He would just fly coaches out and train in Vegas.
okay. So just to see if I understood correctly, Tyson Fury left before you started, but the coach
Yeah, yeah,
was still
right
in
before
the
I
same
started.
gym.
Yeah, the coach was still there in the same gym.
Okay,
He wasn't
okay,
my coach though, but he was
yeah,
like one of the coaches there, so I see him.
okay. So is fair to assume that you are a predominant grappling guy with good boxing? Put
Yeah,
your style like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Mhm. And there is any UFC fighter that you find your style similar to?
Um, as far as striking, I would say maybe like Wonder Boy. Um,
Wonder Boy?
not so much. Yeah, not so much with the kicks, but just the way he kind of bounces in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Nice.
like his overall style, but like without the kicks.
Okay, okay. That's an interesting comparison, because when people think on Wonder Boy, they mostly think about the kicks, but they forget the rest, the striking, the movement.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
when I
interesting.
say that, I mean more so like how he kind of bounces in and out. He keeps his hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's hard to see where his punches are coming from, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, very interesting. And about wrestling, is there anyone that has a wrestling style similar to yours?
Um, yeah, I mean, as far as wrestling, I don't see like wrestling. I feel like there's not as much like variation in
Mm-hmm.
styles.
Yeah.
It's more so like there's variation obviously, but it's more like I see it as like a variation in how dominant people are. So it's like there's people I would say kind of their style looks like mine, but
Mm-hmm.
like they might be better or they might be worse, but we use a lot of the same techniques. If that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Okay. Um. Okay. And
I
this
would say
is
maybe Khabib, but I'm not saying like I'm on his level.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, no problem. If you say Khabib, many people might get crazy, like, oh, this guy is raping, is crazy. But yeah, I
You're kind of
understand what
breaking
you
up a
mean.
little bit. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, but because I apply a lot of top pressure. Um, like that's like my main thing. But I have some trouble like getting people down. Or not trouble, but I would say that's like my weak point. But like on the ground, it's more like just a lot of top pressure, not a lot of submissions. Sometimes I'll go for Kimuras or key locks, and I like the Ezekiel choke a lot. I use that a lot in training, and
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to go up to Dagestan too, because it's like I'm good on the ground, but not necessarily with submissions, but more so with like top pressure. And I figured that was the best place to kind of work on like my takedowns in
Okay.
Dagestan.
So let me just recap to see if I understood correctly. I might do this a lot during the interview, but I like to understand what people are saying. You are saying that you are better at grappling, but your weak point is submissions. Was that?
No, 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 no. I wouldn't say submissions are a weak point. I just don't use them a lot. I say my weak point is more so like takedowns, but once I get people
Okay,
on the ground, uh, I
okay.
have good control. Like when I was doing judo, I would
Mm-hmm.
always win via pin. Like that was my go-to. Um,
Okay.
but it's like you didn't necessarily have to be that skilled in like throwing people because a lot of times people will follow you to the ground. It's easy to get people to go down to the ground with you. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of relied on that, but now I want to learn more like takedowns. Like, I'm
Okay.
not saying I don't know any because I've been training for a while, but I
Okay.
just want to get better. So that's why I went out to Dagestan.
Okay. So you want to improve your takedowns, but you have good control once you are on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So there is this battle going on between BJJ and Sambo. What are you learning in Dagestan? I suppose that is Sambo, or can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I, when I got there, I was kind of shocked. I mean, it's because it's like there's not as much of a big difference between the two as you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And they mostly feel like really similar. Before I got there, it's because like it gets built up as this kind of like mythical um like location slash style, but once you get there, you realize that they're all pretty similar. Um, like the submissions are the same, the training is similar. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not good, but it's not like it's not something that's like completely different to what you would
Mm-hmm.
find outside of Dagestan.
Mhm. Okay, that's interesting feedback. Rarely we see this type of feedback uh, about Dagestan and Sambo. And I was going to ask you the difference between training in Dagestan and America. You talked about the difference between BJJ and Sambo not being that great, but is the training different in some way, intensity or
No,
something?
honestly, it's not that different. No, I don't think it's that. Like before I went, obviously I thought it was like a huge difference in the intensity and like the style. But after getting there, it's a lot closer than I thought it was. It's pretty
Okay,
similar.
so
I would say
another question.
the main difference is
Mhm.
oh
No, no, proceed.
sorry, what was it? Oh yeah, the main difference is over there. People are a lot better at like wrestling, um, takedowns, defending takedowns, etc. But like on the ground, and also the training there, like they have wrestling classes at the gym. But if you go to like the MMA classes or the Sambo classes, it's like it's like 90% just like jujitsu. But I guess one big difference is that when we're like rolling live, we start from standing instead of on
Mhm.
the ground. People don't really start from the ground. But besides that, the Sambo and MMA classes are pretty close to just like jujitsu. But
Okay.
people there are a lot better at wrestling.
Okay, so you say that in BJJ, when you start rowing, you usually start on the ground, and Sambo, you usually start on the feet, and you have to take down your opponent, and so, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that's one of the big differences.
Hmm. But okay, you say that the main difference is that is the wrestling. They are much better in wrestling. Uh, as of now, you couldn't find out why
So
that
you're
happens.
breaking up.
What?
I think it's because people here, they train from an earlier age. Like
Mm-hmm.
they have these sports centers, and like I went to one once because my landlord he gave me a ride to the gym, and we stopped to drop his son off at one of these centers, and they had kids in there that were like 3, and they had wrestling, judo, sambo, like all kinds of stuff. Um, and the kids they were really young, like 3,
Mm-hmm.
4, 5 years old. So most of the guys in the gym, like even the younger guys, like they have kids in there like 18, 19, 20. Like they've been training
Mm-hmm.
like 15 years, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they're a bit better.
Okay. So
Like most
you'd
of them do
say,
freestyle,
mhm.
by the way. Sorry.
No problem. So there is a big lag. Well, a big enough lag between us, but it's we can work through it. So you are saying that the training is not much different, but these guys train for longer. They have more experience because they start young, and that makes a difference when they are like pros, like Khabib and Islam.
Right,
Mostly, that's
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
Like the training style isn't that different, but I think that they're like more skilled,
Hmm.
especially with the wrestling.
And I think I saw on your Instagram that you have trained with Nurmagomedovs, and who have you been training with in Dagestan?
They haven't been there like Khabib and Islam. They because I left like last Wednesday or Thursday, but I think they might have got there like right when I left or a day after because
Mm-hmm.
I got there in late September or like mid September and they were in
Yes.
Abu Dhabi already,
Okay.
like for training for the Oliveira fight. So like Khabib and Islam, I haven't met them.
Okay. So
I'll
you
probably
went to
see
the
them when I
same
get back.
gym,
But
then Khabib and
yeah, it's
Islam.
his
You went to
gym.
the same gym. Oh, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
Um.
he's it's his it's named after his dad. Like it's his gym. He just wasn't there because he was training with Islam.
Hmm. That's amazing. And let me ask you this. Um. Are you going to Dagestan once you finish your fight in Spain
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be there um probably till May or June maybe.
of
So yeah,
next
I'll be
year,
there for
right?
a while.
Okay.
Yeah, next
And
year, next year.
who is financing this? I will dare to call it dream. Who is financing your dream of going to Dagestan
I
and
just
serve?
I just saved up for a while.
You saved for a while and went after your dream.
Right, right.
Wow, wow, that's as I was telling, that's very impressive. That's different, man. Hope everything that goes well. And are you doing this full time job, or you are doing some type of job in Dagestan to help you with the expenses?
No, I just train and sleep and eat.
Hmm. Okay. I saw that in the past you also well, firstly that you have a strong muscular body with interesting body composition, and that you did some calisthenics. Do you still do calisthenics? And if yes, how much it help you with MMA?
I don't do it to the same degree. Like I used to do it a lot more. I don't really do it that much now.
Okay.
Um, uh, I kind of want. I feel like it would help though with MMA if I were to get back into it. But a lot of those positions and different things, like I feel like it helps a lot with the grappling. It's like even though I don't really do it anymore, I feel like it built like a lot of how do I like body awareness. Like I know like where like my body is. I know about like weight distribution. It's like I can kind of feel it. So I feel like doing that for so long helped with um helped with the grappling, especially like on the ground. You just know how to move your body.
And at least I used to train mostly with my body weight, and I feel that I earn a certain type of strength. Like I feel like training with calisthenics makes you very strong. Uh, do you feel that strength that calisthenics provides, or that's more like a false impression that people have?
Yeah, I feel like it does provide strength. I feel like it's probably good to do it with weightlifting too, just to get the best results.
Hmm.
Like I feel like they both kind of help with with the grappling and fighting. Um, Calisthenics is more so like I said, like body awareness, like positioning, weight distribution, and then like weightlifting for just pure strength. I feel like they both
Hmm.
are pretty useful for MMA.
And do you complement your training with weightlifting?
Yeah. I usually go before I go to the gym, like before I train MMA, I'll go and lift for like a couple hours. There's a gym right across the street, so I'll just go there and then I'll just head over like
Mhm.
like that like every day.
Interesting. So, how many days you train for each week? How is your training schedule?
Monday through Friday, and then sometimes I'll go and lift on Saturdays.
Hmm. And you rest on Sunday, and usually on Saturday when you don't lift.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay. So it's you said that you lift for a couple of hours. It's like 2 hours lifting and then 2 hours of MMA training.
Yeah, like two or three. Cause sometimes we'll stay after and spar after training.
So that would be like 2 hours of lifting, three hours of MMA training, something like this would be realistic.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
So your typical training day is like 2 hours of weightlifting plus 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours of MMA training, something like this.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, and uh, your coach, your coach is also from Dagestan right now, right? Or he moved from the US to Dagestan just like you.
Yeah. No. Everyone there is from Dagestan.
Okay, okay. Um, and what have you learned about the people of Dagestan? Uh, because right now you are breeding Dagestan, and also
Okay,
about the language.
could
Like,
you repeat that? I didn't. It was breaking up.
yeah, of course, of course. What have you learned about Dagestani people? And also, I'm just thinking about the language. I don't think they usually speak English. How do you communicate with them?
Oh, I speak Russian decently. It's not the best, but I can get around there pretty well.
Oh, that's very
You asked what
impressive.
I think about the people there.
What?
It keeps going. You said what I think about the people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're really hospitable there. Um, people will offer me food and like they're nice people. A lot of people give me rides to the gym, and one thing too, they're like really curious, so they're
Hmm.
always taking pictures. A lot of people will take pictures and then they post it on their Instagram. Like usually, if I walk around the city, like if I have something to do, there will be like at least two or three people that will try to take a picture with me. They'll be like, "Oh, do we get a photo?" Like that kind of thing.
But
But
they
yeah, they're
they
nice
do that.
people. They're like really curious.
They do that because you're black, or because of what? I suppose that is because you're black because I
Um,
have.
I would assume that's why. I mean, that's the only thing
Okay.
that kind of. Sorry,
Yeah,
what was that?
I know. No, because I know
That's the only thing about me
some
that really sticks out. So
what?
I said that's the only thing about me that really sticks out there. So I would assume that's why.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I was saying that I have some friends that went to China some years ago, and they
Okay.
also were stopped by to take pictures by Chinese people. At the time, there wasn't too many black people,
Yeah,
so.
because everyone else is there. Like there's like a lot of Asians. There's like white people, obviously. So it's like there's Arabic people because if you look at where it is on the map, it's like right above Iran and Syria. So there's like, and then right across from Dagestan, because there's like
Mm-hmm.
a sea, the Caspian Sea. Right on the
Yeah.
other side, there's Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and then like right above them is Russia. I mean, it's part of Russia, but you know what I mean. So it's like they
Mm-hmm.
have all the other groups there, but they're like racial groups, but there's no black people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Sure.
why I stick out so much. If I were
Mm-hmm.
Asian, or if I was white or Arabic or something like, nobody would look twice. But they don't have any black people there, so
Yeah.
people
And
would
what
take
about the
pictures.
food? Is the food good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. They have good meals at the gym, and they're pretty cheap too. Like $3 for like a nice like bread, meat. They have these hot dogs that I like, where it's like it's not like a regular hot dog. It's like the bread is wrapped around the hot dog. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they say they have those at the gym, and then like these meat patties that I like. So you like usually like sometimes I try to get there early. Like I'll lift, and then I'll try to finish up like 2 or 3 hours before training starts, and then I'll get like it's like a really big meal there, and just kind of chill out for a little while. But yeah, there's good food there.
Okay. So I have this question. You said that you saved money to go to Dagestan, which is fantastic. And what I would like to ask is the money that you saved, do you feel like you are at risk of getting out of money anytime soon, or the money that you saved is enough to survive in Dagestan because Dagestan is very cheap? Are things very cheap in
Um,
Dagestan?
yeah, I think yeah, it's pretty cheap there. Like I'm good till I'm ready to go. Um, 'Cause like for example, my rent is it's like $150 a month. So
Okay.
like I can stay there for a long time.
Okay, okay, 150. So with
It,
1,000, $1,500, you can be living there for 1 year almost, uh, and probably
right,
that's
yeah,
just one
yeah.
month
This
in in
one
US.
yeah, right. The one issue though is yeah, I have to have cash. And I don't like to have a lot of cash just in
Hmm.
case like something happens, like there's a
Yes,
fire or I
yeah.
lose my bag or whatever. So I'll bring over small amounts of cash, and then
Hmm.
I have to make it last till I can leave the country again, because the ATM, like I can't use my, like I don't have any access to my bank account because of the
Whoa.
sanctions and everything.
Oh
So
yeah, I forgot
any
about
money,
that.
yeah,
What a
yeah. So I
nightmare.
have to
What a
have cash.
nightmare.
So any money you have to like kind of calculate how long you're gonna be there, and then
Hmm.
because I leave frequently, or this is my first time out of Dagestan, but I plan on leaving somewhat frequently because every time I have a fight, then I'll leave. Um,
Yeah,
so you have to kind of figure out how much you'll need, and then bring all that money over,
man,
and then that's like your money.
that's extremely
But it,
living on the edge.
right, yeah, yeah, because you don't want to put like $1,000 in your pocket and go over there because like that's like if something happens, But
Yeah, I'm actually
yeah,
right
so
now.
like yeah,
I,
I had a fight. Oh, sorry, what was it?
no, no, no. You
I,
proceed.
I had a
I
fight.
talk after you.
I had a fight canceled on October 22nd. So I had originally planned on leaving um like 2 weeks before I had initially like left. So I brought enough money where I was like, okay, this is enough for 3 weeks, and then I ended up staying like 5 or 6 weeks instead of three.
Hmm.
Like stretch a lot
Yeah,
further
yeah,
than I initially had planned. So it was just kind of because I didn't plan on being there that long. So it's like I I almost ran out of cash like before I left, but for like food and everything.
yeah.
But it
You
ended
like
up working out okay.
Yeah, you almost ran out of cash, but you had cash, but wasn't just available.
Yeah.
That was it, right?
Right, right. Yeah, there's no ATMs, none of that.
Yeah, that's a different way of living for sure. Um,
Yeah,
what
it
I
would have been a lot easier before the sanctions, because things were also a lot cheaper then, and the exchange rate was better. Like now it's like 60 rubles to a dollar, and before it was like 90. So it's like a third of my money is worth 30% less, and then also things are more expensive. Like before it was cheaper, so it would have been easier before. And
Mhm.
then I also have ATMs and everything, but now it's like harder.
Okay. Um, yeah, and I just have this quick question. Like as I told before, you seem very athletic and muscular. Um, what made you decide go for MMA instead of other sport?
But your connection.
You want me to repeat?
I think you're back now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. What I said is you seem very athletic. What made you go for MMA instead of any other sport?
It was just kind of a natural transition from judo because uh, at first I did powerlifting for a while and I was like somewhat
Powerlifting.
successful in that. But then I started doing judo because I wanted to learn like some kind of like martial art. And then and then I felt like judo wasn't complete because there was no striking. So then I started boxing. And then
Okay.
I was like, oh well, this is cool. Then now I'm doing judo and boxing. So then it was like MMA was kind of the next logical step after that. And yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's pretty nice. Uh, an interesting journey. So going back to MMA and your actual fight, you said that it was very difficult to find opponents. Who searched for your
yeah.
opponents, and why do you think it was so difficult to find your first opponent?
I think people were just like not necessarily scared of me, but
Hmm.
uh, people didn't like people just heard Dagestan and then they didn't want to fight. Like they're like, no, I don't want to do that. Especially because it's like my debut, so they're gonna
Hmm.
find somebody like around the same level. Um, so it's like someone that's 0-0 or like 1-0. They probably didn't want to fight against somebody that's like who they and it's not even like I'm saying like I have the best wrestling in the world, but they like perceived it that way because I train in Dagestan. So especially like in Europe, where the grappling level isn't the best. Like in the U.S., I feel like it's a lot better than like in Europe.
Yeah.
So especially somebody from Europe, they wouldn't want to fight someone that's like a heavy grappler, like training in Dagestan. So they hear that and they're like, no. It's like my first fight, I was supposed to fight a kickboxer,
Yeah.
um, and then that fight fell through because they found an opponent and like I said, it was on October 22nd and like everything was good. It was in Belgium and that fell through. And then I had another fight. It was gonna be on Fight Pass, so it was like I don't know. You know Fight Pass, right? I'm not
No, can
sure.
you explain what is
Familiar
Fight
with that?
Pass?
Fight Pass is a streaming service from the UFC,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
they
know that,
stream
of
fights.
course.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it
But
was
I
gonna
thought
be
that
on
was
Fight
another
Pass.
Fight
So
Pass.
no. I was like, that's a good opportunity because it's like first off, it's more money, and and then like I'd be on the UFC's radar kind of because they're like affiliated with all of them. So
Hmm.
like, oh, this is great, but they couldn't find an opponent. Like nobody would accept it. They were looking for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they couldn't find anyone, so that one fell through.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think people just they didn't want to fight someone training in Dagestan, especially like in Europe where the grappling level isn't quite that
I have two questions, but starting with this one, who was the
high.
matchmaker?
The No, the first one was stare down championships or stare down fighting. They're based in Belgium, and then the
Okay.
other one was based out of Austria, and I can't remember. They're like the only promoter in Fight Pass and
Okay.
Central Europe, but I can't
Okay.
remember their name. If
Okay. No
if I
problem.
saw it, I remember it.
Mhm. Yeah, I just wanted to understand if was you were searching for opponents or something else. And
No, no, no. This is the promoters. Like the promoters,
yeah,
they couldn't find anybody. And
okay.
I had a couple other ones where they were kind of looking for me.
Mhm.
Um, there was one that was supposed to be on the November 12th. Um, it was a Irish promoter. I can't remember their name either,
Maybe Cage
but they had a
Warriors.
show on. No, not Cage Warriors. Cage Warriors. I want to fight with them. That will be like my next goal. Like
Okay,
if I can win two or three in a row, just enough to get in there. Like Cage Warriors, Ryzen, Bellator, but they're not gonna
good, good,
sign. They're
good,
not gonna
good.
sign somebody like making their debut. I would need like probably
Mhm.
two or three fights.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, that'll be that.
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can proceed.
I said that'll be my goal to fight with one
Mhm.
of like somebody like that.
That's perfect because I had a question similar to that. But before, I would just make an observation from what you're saying because basically it seems that what you are doing is what UFC fighters right now would like to be doing, which is to fight for like any promotion because I don't know how your situation works, but it seems that you are talking with Belgian promoters, Austrian promoters, Ireland promoters. You are kind of free to fight anywhere, or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, I mean the difference is in the UFC they're bound by contract. I'm just making my debut, so like I wouldn't have a contract with anybody.
Okay, so after your debut, your debut, you do have a contract, and maybe you have to continue on that promotion. Would be something like this.
No. For the smaller promotions like this, they're not gonna put you on a contract. I
Okay,
probably wouldn't have accepted it. That's what they want to do.
perfect.
Usually if
That's
you want
smart.
to be on a contract, like if someone will put you on a contract, it'd be someone bigger like Bellator
Hmm.
or UFC or something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
that's not for a while. I'd want to fight for somebody like that, but I need to win a few fights first.
Okay. One of the questions that I had here would be the promotion that you'd like to be, and you already talked about Cage Warriors, Bellator, Rising, right? So that those are your
Well,
goals for now, right?
right for now, eventually I want to be in the UFC, but
Mm-hmm.
the UFC there you need more wins. People fight in Bellator, Ryzen, Cage Warriors after two or three fights. That's not super uncommon, but the UFC um probably 6, 7 fights would be a bit more common. You
Six,
can't
seven
just fight
fights.
two times, 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And about the rewards, the prizes, uh, do they talk about how much you will earn on first fight? Is that something that you can talk about at this point?
Yeah, it's like super. It's not. It's a really small. It's like 300 euros. It's like nothing.
300 euros for fight?
Yeah, 300 euros.
I heard that Corner at some point earned 150 euros. So you are better than Corner already. Double. You are doubling the money
Yeah,
that Connor did. So yeah,
yeah. I
it,
mean,
it-
in the beginning, no one's really trying to earn a lot. It's more like you want to get those two or three wins, and then you
yeah,
can fight for a bigger promoter. But in the
yeah.
first fight, second fight, like you're not gonna make anything.
Okay.
I mean,
Another few questions. What makes you unique or entertaining for an audience?
um,
It
as
can
far
be
as unique,
personality wise, it can be fighting style wise, because many like nowadays it's not only important to know how to fight, but also to be entertaining. We see a lot of that in the UFC. I don't know if you share this opinion, and it's okay if you don't. But I think that fans like to see entertaining personality as well.
Well, I mean, my goal is to just go in there and take them down immediately and like
Hmm.
finish it within the first couple of minutes. So I mean, I'll try to be as entertaining as I can, but I feel like
The
that question is
focus.
better.
Hmm.
Yeah, better like after the fight. So
Yeah,
it's like I could show like how I'm entertaining.
yeah. So first the fight, and then think on other things like how to be entertaining and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Um, Let me see what I have here. What kind of challenges you have had so far? Like you are just starting, so maybe this question is not very good. But like, do you feel? Do you miss your family? Like you are far away. What challenges you have faced emotionally in the past 2 months?
um, it was just kind of discouraging initially because I couldn't find any fights. But besides that, not too many. But now it's
Okay.
like now I've got one, so now I'm just focused on like it's like I finally got the opportunity. But it's gonna be a tough fight, I think, because he has 11 fights, but he doesn't have
Oh,
the big.
man, that's
Yeah,
tough. That's a big,
he's
big challenge.
4-7, so it's not like he's like 11-0.
Okay. Even
And
though, don't underestimate
I was
your
looking
opponent.
through his I was looking through his record and like he lost to another fighter making his debut when he had like 9 fights or something, and then
Mm-hmm.
that guy lost 3 in a row, and like his only win was over the guy that I'm fighting that he fought in his debut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, and he's like on a 3 fight losing streak. And I'm not trying to trash the guy. I'm just saying it's like
Yeah, of
he
course.
has 11 fights, but it's not like he has 11 fights and he's like 11-0 like UFC
Yeah,
veteran
yeah.
or something. Just
Uh,
but
when you
it might
said 11,
I'll be smaller too because I should be at bantamweight, but it's like it's so hard to find a fight. Like I didn't care. Because now I've been trying to put on weight like this past couple of weeks. Because like
mm-hmm.
the last time I weighed myself, about a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was I was like because the fights at bantamweight 61 kilos,
Yeah.
featherweight 66. I was 62 kilos.
Okay. So you are going to featherweight right now.
Right, but I don't even weigh 66 kilos. Like I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
put on weight. Like I'm not cutting weight. I'm trying to put on weight just so that it won't be canceled. Um,
Yeah.
like it won't be because if you're not if it's too much of a discrepancy, the commission sometimes they'll cancel the fight. They won't let you fight because they'll say it's like you're too like the other guy's too much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just eating
That's
like
very, very interesting
top.
because I had questions here for you about weight cutting, but you are not cutting weight, you are gaining weight. So it's a whole different story for
Yeah,
you.
'cause yeah, so he's
Um,
probably gonna be like 5 or 6 kilos bigger than me, but
mhm.
it's like it doesn't matter. Like I still feel pretty confident. I I I mean everyone does in some practice, but I grapple with a lot of guys that are larger than me. Even in Dagestan, like I would say I out wrestle probably like
Mhm.
75% of people in training.
Yeah.
Um, like I do pretty like I feel confident that even if he's 5 or 6 kilos bigger, especially after seeing like some of his previous fights and like his grappling skill, I feel like I could still like take him down and control him,
Okay.
even if it's like a size discrepancy.
Mhm.
So I'm not super worried. I'm just trying to eat to like minimize
Mhm.
whatever gap there's gonna be. Just eating like
Okay. And do you have any nutritionist or something to help you on how to eat?
no, I don't have a nutritionist. No, I
Okay, you are
mean
doing
maybe someday I'll have one, but your first couple fights, you're gonna have the smallest amount of resources. You know, people aren't
yeah.
like hire nutritionists and stuff like when they're making their debut,
Yeah.
especially
So
now with a 300 euro purse for this fight.
yeah. So you are doing mostly your own research and trying to hit the best things that you can, or something, or you are just trying to hit fat stuff.
Right.
What? How's your diet?
Yeah. It was a lot more regimented in Dagestan. But now I'm just kind of eating whatever. Because like I said, I'm just trying to put on weight just to get,
Yeah.
just to not like put on muscle necessarily, but just to like, just so that when I weigh in, um, because it won't be like a huge gap in our weight. Because if I weigh in at like 62, like I've been weighing at recently, then
Hmm.
and he's 66, or like he can be a little bit more. I think they give you a half kilo like
Yeah.
of like leniency. So he's like 66 and a half and I'm 62, then the fight's gonna be canceled. So I'm just trying
Yeah.
to eat so that I can make sure like we're close. Like if I
Sure.
can get to 64, because I can drink water too. Like water weighs a lot, so if I
Yeah.
can drink like if I can get to 64 or something and just drink like a liter and a half of water, then you know I'm like 65 and a half kilos.
Yeah.
And that's why
That's
that's the
funny.
easier. That's easier than just gaining weight because you can just drink. Like water weighs a lot, and you can easily drink like a liter or 2 liters of water, and then I'll just put on like a kilo or 2 kilos. So
Yeah, that's extremely funny. But yeah, if it works, it works, and hopefully it works for you, so you can have your well-deserved debut.
yeah,
So the study of your opponent was basically um, check their statistics, right?
yeah.
You
Check the
don't have
statistics,
footage.
and there were some videos of his previous fights.
Oh, okay.
I mean he definitely he's not bad. He's good in a lot of areas, but I feel like he doesn't really specialize in anything.
Mm-hmm.
He throws a lot of kicks, which could give me problems because I don't not super comfortable with like kicking and being kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I haven't like practiced it as much. But I feel like his overall striking is not like the greatest. He's just good in a lot of different areas, and his
Okay.
wrestling I don't think is that good because
Do you know?
I've seen him like being taken down pretty
Mm-hmm.
easily, tapping the strikes. So I feel like I'd be able to implement my game plan with him.
Okay. In the well, these I would ask you what is your game plan, and but obviously if you talk about your game plan, maybe I cannot release this interview until you fight. But can you
Yeah.
give us a glimpse of what is your game plan?
I'm just gonna strike up top. Like throw a few punches and throw feints, and then just go for a double leg. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I like to go for the lead leg so that they can't knee me, and then I like to throw a hook on the opposite side so that they kind of lean towards their lead leg, and so then it makes them easier to take down because they're not like evading me. Like
Yeah.
I'll throw a hook on the side of his rear leg, and then go for a takedown on the lead leg,
So you throw a
and then just
hook,
watch out for the
so he leans to his lead leg,
towards his lead leg.
and then you
The,
charge with the
the,
double leg or something.
right, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But
And
it's
then
better
from
if I can
there,
back him up towards the cage too.
what?
It's better too if I can get him close to the cage. It's easier to take him down on the cage. So
Mm-hmm.
just try to back him up, throw throw maybe 2 or 3 punches and make sure I end it with the hook on the side of his rear leg, and then go for a takedown on his lead leg side, and then especially
Ground
if I
and
can get
pound.
him close to
And once you have it on the ground, you will ground and pound and go after a submission, or more mostly
just
ground and
ground and
pound.
pound. I probably won't go for a submission. And I
What?
like to I get crucifixes a lot in the gym. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just try to wrap his one of his arms with my legs, and then just elbow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. So I remember that you said that you have to go to
Yeah, jujitsu.
your
Yeah,
BJJ
so I have to leave.
practice. So I
Yes.
think that we can end it here. And is there any last words that you would like to say, or people to go after your social
Um,
media to follow you? Anything that you like to say?
um, no, maybe just put my you can put my Instagram in the
Okay.
description.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one last question. How do you feel before the fight? Do you feel some fear? Do you feel confident? How do you feel?
Oh, I feel pretty confident. Feel
Mhm.
good.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for accepting this interview. Hope that your fight goes well, and maybe this is the first of I don't know. Maybe we can do more interviews in the future and follow your journey.
Yep, that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
Okay. So bye bye, Matt. See you next time, and good luck.
Yep, thanks. Thanks to you.
See you.